All right, hi everyone. Welcome. So we're going to wait for like 2 more minutes just to make sure that we got the majority of attendees in. And if in 2 minutes nobody's joining, then we're just gonna start and they will join us whenever they're ready. And in the meantime, while we are waiting for latecomers, I'm going to remind you guys to download, if you still haven't, the latest Unity. So I'm putting the link now in the chat. And also the GitHub project that we all are going to use today. So that one is also in the chat.
Is Unity 2019 4 fine for now, or is there another version?
I think that's what we're using, yeah, 2019 4. This is the latest long-term LTS version, but my guess is it will work with probably any 2019, but Unity is, sometimes if you need to go back in this versions, weird things happen to scripts, but mostly I believe it should be okay.
All right, well, it looks like we are still at the same number. So if,
great, we can just start.
Yeah, let's do that.
We're gonna start anyway with an intro, and if people join in, you can join in. Okay, hi everyone. I'm Sarah. I am super excited to be giving this workshop. I consider myself a kind of soldier is the right term, but something in the world of sex positivity, trying to just put out authentic and different types of experiences, competing with mainstream stuff, and having more people having this knowledge and being able to produce their own things, I think is extremely valuable. So I'm gonna screen share with you a little presentation where we get to know each other, and then we're gonna jump into Unity. And because we're really a small group, I think, are your microphones open? Or can you control them yourselves right now?
Yeah, we can.
Great. So just feel free, like if you get stuck, if there's any questions, I think with this amount of people, we can probably keep the flow with you just asking questions whenever they appear. So yeah, this is my little brand that I made together with Tamal. She's one of my partners. She's a sex worker in the Netherlands, where sex work is a little bit easier, still has a lot of difficulties. And we created, and we're still creating more interactive experiences. A little bit about me, I come from a cognitive neuroscience background, and with this whole idea that we are bodies. We're not just these cerebral, wordy things, we actually have limbs. That's what really makes us human, is our ability to move, to touch, to connect. And there's this giant gap when it comes to technology that is usually very passive, these screens that we just stare at. So my whole goal in all of the weird projects that I do is to get people to move, interact, feel with more of their senses, and use this technology in ways that actually bridge the gap between our body and technology versus just passive viewing of screens. So this is a little bit of I'd actually like to share with you why I'm building my own, and also whoever wants to share what is their reasons for wanting to build their own interactive cybersex experiences. So for me, first of all, I felt that my sexuality was just not portrayed in mainstream. I like things that are very playful and fun and strange, and nothing that was out really in the porn world resonated with me. The next was just exploring technology, like what can I do that pushes the limits of technology. And the third was actually when COVID started. A lot of my partners are long distance, and just wanting to be able to connect to them in ways that are actually more than just video chats, more than just Zoom. So maybe first I can just ask if people do want to, let's stop the screen share for a second, and just ask if people want to either raise their real hand, or I think you can record a reaction. How many of you resonate with like your sexuality isn't portrayed in mainstream, and that's one of the reasons you want to be building this? Anyone want to raise hands or emote? Yeah, so we're having 1, 2, 4 people. of this group, oh, we're 9 people already. We've grown. That's awesome. How many of you want to create your own interactive experience because you want to push the boundaries of technology? Technology. Yeah, we got a bunch of people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people. And how many of you are actually trying to deal with some type of COVID issues and think this type of experience can help yourself or others mitigate this whole physical distance thing? So 3, 4. Okay. Anyone want to share another reason why they're here? Either you can share in chat or open your mic. Let us know what brings you to want to try to make your own stuff. 3, 2. Kiran, yeah. Are you? Wait, no one? Okay, well, then we'll keep going. So let's start with, I see another spelling mistake. Please excuse me, I'm a little bit dysgraphic, so if we get some spelling mistakes, it's very hard to be a coder that's dysgraphic, but I do my best. So when we start thinking about what we want to build, we really, there's so many options, right? So I started to think about a bit how can we categorize this and what are the building blocks I can give you in this 1.5 hours that can then let you create your own things. So when we start thinking about what we want to build, we want to start thinking about what devices are going to be using this. Is this going to be a desktop experience? Is it going to be a VR experience? Is it going to be a mobile experience? All these things have, different affordances and different abilities. For instance, if you're thinking about VR for PC, you can have much bigger files, much better graphics, but you're going to get less users because there aren't that many people that have gaming computers and VR. And there's ways to sort of, I'll show you how you can mitigate and sort of build a bit more cross-platform, which is what we're trying to do in XtraSexyReality. A lot of our experiences can be viewed and interacted, actually played in desktop and VR. So you can try to build these things that are more cross-platform. Now, the next thing to think about is what are you going for? Are you going for something that has a real-time interaction, or is it a pre-made experience, right? The difference is something like more a chat world, a webcamming experience, where you actually get constant feedback with whoever's there, or is it something that you make one time and then people can just navigate it, play it again and again, use it even when you're asleep? So we're going to go through one little experience of each of how you can build a real-time interaction very easily with technology, and also how you can work with some videos. Because that's the third question, is what type of media are you going to be using? Are you going to be using avatars or videos? So if any of you have a specific idea that you already have, that this is what I want to be building, we can, I think, yeah, we have time to share maybe 30 seconds of an idea that you're going to be building. And next we're going to be choosing why, I'll go over why Unity and not Unreal. But if anybody wants to, has already a very built out concept that they are willing to share with us, it might be of interest to everyone. Anyone? And if not, I'll keep going. Okay, then I'll keep going. Before we get into Unity's next, but before we get into the actual engine that we're using, what I want you to start thinking about if you're developing something is how you get it out there. Unfortunately, the world we live in is not very sex positive. It is sometimes incredibly difficult. I think I've seen some of Raspberry Dream Lab's experiences also get shut down by YouTube for streaming sex positive, just educational stuff. I was so outraged. I'm sorry you experienced that. But these things, as creators want to get our stuff out there, we really need to figure out how to do it. So if you're not trying to make money from this, I'd suggest something like itch.io. They do allow any type of adult content. You need to mark it as adult content, but you can use that as a platform for distribution. However, if you are wanting to monetize this, That's pretty much impossible to do through them because they use PayPal, and PayPal is absolutely not sex positive and will take all your money and never give it to you if they discover what you're doing is adult content. So that can be very difficult. Most of the mainstream stores like Oculus and Steam will ban you, not let you on their stores if you have real like women, people, men, I don't know, gender, real bodies in there. Steam, if you're using just avatars for adult content, is fine. They do have sort of an adult content portion, but our stuff actually got banned from Steam. The reason was we are two real women, which was very sad for me to learn, that all of our stuff is super oriented towards like consent and playfulness, and that was a lot worse for them than a lot of the quite I'm gonna say rape culture-y animated avatar games that they do have on their platform. So I went the route of, it took me a really long time actually. When we got banned from Steam, what do we do now? I was very inspired by Cindy Gala. I went to a TechCrunch lecture of hers. If you know her, she's the creator of Make Love Not Porn. She basically just said, build the worlds you want to live in. Just build it. Like there's gonna be so many hurdles, but just keep building. So we built our own website. I got some info about where can I host these things, because even a lot of hosting facilities won't let you use adult content on their hosting facilities. So I'm using Mojo Host. Oops, sorry. You can Google them. They're a Netherlands-based company. They're great. And I found a payment processing. This was a very long and tedious experience to do as an adult content provider. Find somebody who's willing to let you accept credit cards. They came to my house and took photos to see that we're like a real thing and not scamming people. And I do want to offer people, if you do get to the stage of you actually have something out there and want to use this to make money, feel free to contact me. And I'd be happy to host it for you and take the payment processes and just pass it on to you, because they're also not cheap. I'm probably paying around $200 a month just to keep this project going. So that's where we are. Yeah, Cindy is super inspiring. Okay. So any questions about this, or should I keep going about why Unity? Great. So why Unity? So a little bit first, you might not know anything about Unity. So Unity is a game engine. It really lets you build almost any type of experience I can think of. It works on any type of platform, mobile, computers, VR, which is one of the reasons really I use it. You can quite easily convert whatever you're building to be in different platforms. And the main reason, well, two reasons I'm using Unity and not Unreal. One, it's free. If your company makes them less than $100,000 a year, you can use Unity absolutely for free, which is great. And the other is Unity performance, as far as I know, on mobile platforms and sort of low-end VR platforms is better than Unreal. So if you are going with something that is super high-end, you just want it to be on like desktop VR or strong gaming computers, Unreal is probably great. I know it actually requires less coding from what I hear. But I've never actually developed for Unreal. So I went the Unity route. I come from some coding background, so I actually prefer it. Oh, they changed. Oh, that's good to know. So Unreal is free now too. Well, thanks for updating, James. So definitely it might be worth looking into if you want to use. And I think that some of the principles, I mean, the tech exactly is probably different, but the principles that we're going through are relevant. I think also part of it is maybe the ecosystem for Unity, like the plugins, that some of which I'm going to show now. A lot of companies come out with plugins first for Unity, but I'm not like exactly sure about this. It just seems, from my perspective at least, that way. Okay, so let's take a look at what a Unity screen looks like. And here I have an annotation thing that I just learned about today. Where did it go? Where did it go?
You have to share your screen first,
Yeah.
and then the annotate
Yeah.
will be enabled.
Okay, so, all right, so we went through all these. We had some images. I was talking. Great. Unity annotations. Annotate. Great. So this is what a Unity screen looks like after I open the build settings. But I can also just show you, and you can move around all of the different windows and make it the way you want to be. But basically, the hierarchy over here will show you all the different game objects and different things that you can put in your scene. So this is a bit like thinking about Unity. I like to think of it a bit like a theater stage. You stage things, and then you can put on each different objects. You have an inspector that you can see here, and you can put different types of scripts that you see here. And these scripts let you create different types of interactions and actually create a whole gaming experience. Down here in the project, you'll see all your files. And by the way, I can share this whole PowerPoint when we're finished. I'll just give you the link. And you can see all the different files in here. So if I go, do you now see an actual Unity screen? Or did I share only?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, we can see. Okay, I can go between them. Sometimes it depends which screen I share. So wait, I need to stop my annotation. Great. So the first thing we're going to be building and seeing how to build is a real-time interaction. A lot of the actual, or as far as I know, all of the VR worlds that currently exist. I know some that are being built to be sex positive specifically. But you know, if you go into something like VR chat or Altspace, they all have very hard limitations on what you can do with like adult content and not being extremely sex positive. So maybe you want to create one of your own. Oh, it's funny, I annotated and it's still little circles are on it. So this was an experiment I created with my partner. I'm gonna play the video background. You don't need to hear it, but we basically scanned our own faces to have an avatar that looks like us, and created our own interactive world where we could get vibrations when we touched each other and could share video, voice and connect in this way. I successfully managed to get an orgasm in there. It wasn't very easy, but it did happen. And yeah, you can see us touching each other. That was a very, very fun interaction. He was quarantining in Los Angeles, and being able, it was very magical, you know, to high five and caress his face and get vibrations and feel as if he was there, but not. We are calling this Uncanny VR because, as you can see, the faces are, it is sort of uncanny, but after a little while, your brain gets used to anything, and you're just like, you do feel that person is there with you. So we used, the process we did was this. We used a thing that's called Normal VR. Normal VR lets you do all the networking for your VR experience super easy. They're also free for up to like 12 users, I think. So you can create your own VR world, interactive, with all the audio and networking parts done. And then to get our faces in there, we used an Apple app that's called Bellows 3D. You can download it. You just go like with a camera. You scan your face, you get a 3D model of your face, and we'll see how we then imported it into Unity. Another option for bringing in different avatars would be using Mixamo.com. They have a bunch of free avatars you could use to bring them into the experience instead. So let's go into Unity to show you how we built this. And the project, you can open and do it with us. You can follow along and take notes. But this is hopefully will help you jumpstart and create something much faster. So to work with normal, you need all your, whatever gets networked and is accessible for whoever's in this world needs to be inside a folder that's called resources. This is how they sort of do it and allow things to get shared between different people that are in the same VR experience. Now, you can see we already have like 2 different logins because every time I build an app, I just built a login that lets me be a different person. So Kai has his own build for this world, and I have my own build for this world. And I can see this type of thing being used if you are, for instance, you know, a sex worker that because of COVID now wants to connect to clients online. You can build your client as their own login, and you can actually have one-on-one interactions with them that are totally private. Only you know what's going on in there. You can build your own, you know, bring in your own objects that might relate to the experience you're trying to give that person. So that's really cool to just be able to do really easily, because a lot of the times you think like, oh wow, networking is so hard. How can I even build my own VR world? So basically it comes with a script that is the API reference that you need to have a key to. So I am being very kind to you, and just you can, if you want to test this out and build this yourself, you can still use my key. If you want to actually develop your own app that has other things and different people, I highly recommend you just register, go to the normal website, get your own API key, you plug it in here, you give your room a name, and then you start actually, what is your avatar? So when we go into what is the avatar, and the way Unity works is you can just like click on things and they you know, it takes you to what your prefab is. So you need to put in some type of object that is going to be your avatar. Now this could be absolutely anything you want it to be. This is where we scanned our faces and put it in there, but you could create any type of creature or bring in avatars from Neximo, and really just as simple as drag and drop them into whatever is the avatar. So you see Kai's login has a different avatar, Kai's avatar. And the simple way to just set these things on and off, just so you, if you don't know anything about Unity, you see where my mouse is, this is the way to set objects on and off. So we can just decide whose login is actually active. These prefabs are here, but they're actually not active because they don't need to be active in the scene. Otherwise, you get the avatar and you also get a floating head of Sarah just in location. So a little bit more about Unity. You see this transform tells you where these objects are in space. So for instance, in this experience, we put a video camera so you could go up and also see what you look like. And get this experience of being sort of webcams or not. It was just a cool way to get, instead of just having a mirror, show you what you're looking like, and you can see where this object is going to appear in space. It's going to be around 30 centimeters. This is all in meters. Americans, the whole system of feet is just ridiculous. So luckily, this is in meters. And it's going to be 3 meters away in space. Question. I don't know the size of rooms, the maximum size effects. The free version comes with up to 12. So somebody's asking how many people can you put in there. If you want more than 12 people, you probably need to pay them. And if 1,000 people, they're pretty small startups, you might need to like talk to them and see how many people they can put in there. But my guess is theoretically, yes, you could get a lot of people. It's just, you're gonna go over the free version of it. And room is basically just your own space, right? It's your own social network. They just call it room. You could have a few rooms as a company if you want to have different rooms for different people. Whoever is in the same room can have access to that. So for instance, if you are working with clients, you would want to have a different room possibly for each client, unless you want clients to be able to log in at the same time. You can, James, you can follow along. I'm going to be sort of running through this. If you have any more specific questions, definitely ask them. And I'm going to show how we built like the avatar and how some of the interactions that we did. Yeah, this Unity project is that's what you should be downloading from the GitHub download. The scenes, sorry for not walking you through this, but there's 2 different scenes you should see in the Unity project. One of them is called real time, the other is called video. So you see it in the scenes. So we're now walking through the real time. Saving it, even though I didn't make any changes. So we're walking through the real time experience, which is using normal. So we have a login, right? And the login is really just literally put in an avatar prefab. The avatar prefab needs to be in here. So after we did the Build Us 3D face, we dragged it into the resource folder, and we created a prefab of Kai or me. Now with Kai, what we did was something that's a bit cute and funny. I put in a few different types of heads. So you can see under Kai's head, he has neutral face, angry face, scared face, happy face, because I wanted to give him the ability to have some type of different emotions. The built-in script for normal, you can have a script that just lets you have the head sort of grows and shrinks with the voice. I found that a bit strange and like not very enticing to see a person's head grow and shrink when they speak. So I took that script off. But it is a thing that comes with normal to try to show people's like, I guess, have more of an interactive feel around this. And we have, let's see which scripts I put in here. So we have basically 2 scripts in this little demo. One of them is creating vibrations. So that script is called hand collisions. And the other is set head, which lets the head be changed. So let's actually go first into the hand collisions. So if you see Kai's avatar, each avatar has just comes with like a template of where to put your head, where to put your hands. So if you're creating a different type of avatar, you would just drag in the head object here. What is the directory of this file? So this should be the only thing that comes down. When you download GitHub, the GitHub file, you should just get a Unity project in there and open it in Unity. Yeah, exactly. You need to download, it's just.
That's if you download just the faces.
Yeah, it's called, exactly, it's called faces, and then open it in hubs. Yeah. Thank you everyone for helping. So let's go and see what the script for vibrations are. Now, to create any type of interactions of objects in Unity, you actually need to give them colliders. What does that mean? That means that when things are being rendered just means showing things, right? So we have on each object that is being shown a mesh renderer. If we want the object to be there but not being seen, we can just turn off the mesh renderer. For instance, if I go to the video camera and I'm going to turn it off and on, you can see it's still there. I'm just not seeing it if I turn the mesh renderer on and off. Then we have a rigid body. A rigid body basically gives whatever object is in there their ability to have physics on it. Do you want it to have gravity? Kiran is trying this. Is anybody else having trouble with downloading the project? I believe.
If you try to open the entire folder, it will give that issue, but if you do add the folder that's inside that says faces, it shouldn't give that error.
Okay, so you need to go one level low in the hierarchy and add that. So GitHub has a higher level in the hierarchy. Great. So rigid body again gives you physics, and let's just show you how you can actually see physics in Unity. You can see if you go into your project settings, you can see basically all the different things in your project, and one of them is physics. And you can actually, it's really strange that the markings that I did with annotation are just here. Zoom, you're being very strange. Don't know how to actually, I need to erase them. Okay, we're gonna erase the annotations. Great. So we can see the physics, and what's really cool is you decide which objects have physics on them and which don't. So you can put things in different layers and decide, oh, whatever's my UI layer doesn't get physics. Whatever is other layers do get physics. So it's, you are totally the god of this world, and this is really why I love Unity. It gives you the ability to really create your own world with whatever laws of physics you want. One of my early experiences was actually changing gravity, having things float in space, or being on the moon. So you can play with all these different things. Let's close this. So the way, just so you know, to add different layers is you can put things in layers in here. So if you want some objects to have physics and some not, you can decide, put them in the physics layer, and decide which of them actually interact with each other. So rigid body is for something to have physics, and mesh collider, or generally colliders, are for objects to actually be able to crash into each other. So physics lets it have, for instance, gravity and move with friction. But if you want objects to actually be able to interact with each other and get the ability to touch, you need to put colliders on them. So if we go, for instance, to the hand, you'll also see there's a sphere collider on the hand. Generally, let's just show you how you can do that. If you do add component, you get all the different components, and anything you write in here starts appearing. So you can see if I start writing collider, I get all the different colliders I might want to use. Generally, it requires less computation. The easier, the more, the less triangles your collider has. So mesh colliders will actually be exactly the shape of your object. So that's something, especially if you're using lower end VR or cell phones, you don't really want to use. You'd want to use like box colliders or sphere colliders that just have a general shape. So especially since our current hand is just a sphere, we haven't even put in accurate hands in here yet. We're just using a sphere collider. And then we can go into the actual collision and see how colliders happen. What does it want to do? Sold. Microsoft Visual Studio. So yes, so again, code, you can get quite far even without any coding, especially because I did put even a few of these scripts in there, but I do want to show you the general idea of how coding works, because it's really actually very easy. So whatever you want to put a type of interaction that's based on a collision on, you basically create an onTriggerEnter function. And this tells Unity, when something comes into this collider, what do you do? So for that to happen, once again, you need to have the sphere collider on it, and you need to mark it, yes, this is a trigger. A trigger means this will actually create some type of event. And here is actually where you put the size. Yay, we've got a Mac working. This is great. Wait, oh, Mac is, yeah, I wasn't sure if this would work very well with a Mac or not. I'm obviously a PC person, so it's hard to test with Mac. Oh, I see, funny joke. And you're missing prefabs. James, if you can tell me which missing prefabs, I can also just send you them later. Great, so, okay, back to our, it's sort of distracting today. Chat plus, this is the first time I'm giving a workshop for you, on trigger enter, I'm basically asking which hand is being triggered. I check the name on the game object, and there's various ways we could be doing this. We could check the tag on the game object. We could drag and drop things into public domains and just ask if this game object is that. But that's a very basic way. You can just ask what is the name of the game object, and if it is the right hand, I just tell it vibrate the right hand. So if your right hand is touching something, your right hand gets vibrations, and then I ask if it's your left hand, then your left hand gets vibrations. So that's, and when it stops, then it gets set to 0. So when you exit that sphere, when you exit the collider, the vibrations are stopped. So that was a very cool interaction that I don't actually know why more VR experiences like VR chat and Outspace, I don't think have that. It's one of the most funnest things to be able to like high five and get a vibration and actually feel that somebody is there in space with you. Or caress your head and feel, again, they're like, your hands are vibrating, not your head, but you can do a lot of these things with it. Now, the next thing we did was actually allow us to change heads, and I wanted to be the one that's like controlling that, but you could allow yourself to change heads. And this is just gonna also show you how you can sort of work with button presses. Now this is basically asking, so okay, yeah, a little bit, let's take a step back on how Unity works in the script. You can see there's a few different functions that come: awake, start, and update. So awake happens before start, it's like a -1. And really is the first thing that will happen when you load the scene. Sometimes you want to make sure things are already sort of preloaded before you actually start working with them. Start is happens after awake. These things only happen once. What's special about the update function is that it happens automatically every screen. So you don't need to have, you know, when I was doing some web VR coding, you need to have like a tick function, like a clock function that makes things happen every screen or every frame. Here, it just automatically, anything that you put in the update function will happen every frame. So here, every frame, it's going to check if a button is getting pressed or not. Now, if a button is getting pressed, I have this little state machine here with the different faces: neutral, happy, angry, scared, and I'm saving which is the current state, which one is currently chosen. And you can see I'm saying at the beginning, the current state is neutral. So basically on every button press, I'm just cycling through the different states, printing them out. Debug.log will get your printout in the console, which is right here. See, it's telling me no spatializer up here. A lot of these things are some similar to errors. But mostly, this is how you can actually debug your things without going too much into like actually like right clicking. The real way to debug things is to actually put a breakpoint in them, and then when you attach your script, it'll stop. But this is sort of old style debugging or lazy debugging, where you just print things out and see that they're actually working. So this is a lot of times how I like working. So this is how I basically got people to be able to, or me to be able to change the face of the avatar. And this is how you can create any type of other interaction in this type of situation with button presses on your controllers. So the cool thing about Normal is that it also works for desktop or for VR, probably or for mobile. So you can create actually an experience that is a shared world where even just one person is in VR and the other person is in desktop, and still have interactions that can flow and work with this. Okay, any questions until now? Let me check how are we doing on time before we go into video world. Cool. Yeah, we're about 30 minutes in. Okay, so this is basically, I just wanted to show you how you can really play around, create your own avatars really by absolutely just dropping in different heads and hands. And it really works out of the box. Oh, maybe let me walk you through the build process once, just so you can see how it works. So you press File, Build, and then you can actually go into Settings, and here there's just a default company, but you can give your product actually a name, change the version. If you are using anything that goes on the stores, you need to actually be quite, you know, save your version control and have some keys. But again, if you can manage to get on any of the stores, let me know how you did it. This is sort of the actual bundle identifier is here. So this is actually what identifies your project right now. This is like the default thing. I should probably change this. But it could be anything you want to write here, like your own project name. And then you build, you choose which scenes to build. So right now it's on the video scene. So actually, if I wanted to build this scene, I would build this. Now we're on a PC version. If we wanted to build this for Quest or Go or our phone, we need to move it to Android. I'm not going to do it now because it takes like it chunks away for a while it updates all the scripts. But you do that. If you are building for iOS or Mac, you need to have those things preloaded in Unity, but you can do that and build to that. You press build, it gets you a project. If we have time later, I can show how we actually get projects onto like the Quest. Android's pretty easy. You just copy paste your APK into the phone. Quest requires a bunch of other assets. You can actually also use SideQuest. Write that down as a resource. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, SideQuest is not very sex positive either. They used to be, and then I was very sad they took off adult content. So yeah, I made like a censored version of one of my experiences to put on SideQuest and just try to get people from there into my website. But SideQuest is like a thing that is an alternative store, but still not sex positive really. So, okay, so that was the first real-time interaction. Now we're gonna go into videos. Now videos, I have like a love-hate relationship with this medium. First of all, like why love? Because yeah, it's real, you know, like there's something that I think it can be really creative to play with avatars. But if I want to bring myself in there, if I want to bring my partner, if I want to share what we actually are, well, we are flesh and blood and human and not these sort of perfect avatar or animated avatar creatures. So I think this can give a much more empathetic connection, definitely more realistic connection. And when we come to videos, we need to sort of differentiate between 360 videos and stereoscopic VR videos. A lot of the times when you hear like, oh, VR porn, a lot of it is actually just 360 videos. So 360 videos or 180 videos are very wide videos that you can turn your head around and see the whole world. Stereoscopic means there are actually two lenses. and that mimics what happens in your brain. Usually you get a little bit of a different image from your right eye and left eye, and those images combine together to create a 3D world in your brain. So you can do that with a virtual reality headset and give a slightly different image for your right eye and left eye, but you need 2 camera lenses to create that type of media. Now, the biggest and most annoying thing with both of these medium is they're huge files. It's just like the amount of times my desktop has crashed and run out of space, just needing to like import the files. Even now when I created this project and tried to put it on Git, it was like, oh, one of the files is bigger than 100 megabyte. You need to use a special Git sort of plugin for big files. So this is a really sort of difficulty, and there's sort of ways to go around it. Downgrade your videos. It's really a play between like quality versus size. So you can downgrade your videos or create shorter experiences that let you actually still work with videos without crashing your computer. You can get a strong, big computer with lots of space on it if you're starting to work with videos. So I will try to show you on the two different types of things, right? Because videos, for me, like just passive videos are not of interest. That's sure, it can still be fun and immersive, but I want things that actually give people agencies, that let them have choices and interactions. So these are safe for work intros of what we've built because they're on YouTube. So this is one of them. We basically were showing like hip mobility exercises that can help you have better sex, and you can actually see your hips moving by having an overlay. We asked people to put their hands on their hips, and you can actually see what your hips are doing. So this is like one very cool overlay that we did over a video that lets people have interactions. And I would love, as we continue to build this, to actually give people scores. And once they complete the exercise, they get an actual adult content, like me and Kamal actually have sex and try out all these different positions and work with our hips in really fun and funny ways. So that's one of the things we did. Wait, pause, you don't need to loop. And the other is, this was our first experience that we built together. It's a choose your own sex adventure. We talked to the audience. We asked them to make choices throughout the world. They have this like horny meter they can control by making interactions. And we're going to see a little bit, I simplified this, but we're going to try to build this to see how you can build your own choose your own adventure and work with videos with this experience. So this was really fun. We did a whole day of shooting at a friend's amazing house. And we also put in a few different videos. I think this is very unique. I think we're the only experience that's ever done that. We filmed from 2 different cameras, and we allow users to like, players, I don't know what to call this, jump from one viewpoint to the next, seeing things from first point of view. I had a camera on me in some of the scenes versus a different point of view of a different camera. And the scene just jumps as you teleport between them. So how did we build that? Let's go into the video scene. So, video scene. Okay, so the video scene, we can pre-made this. So to create any type of video playback in Unity, you need to basically do 4 things. 1, find your video's dimensions. Next, you need to create a texture with these dimensions. Third, you create a material with that texture. And then you assign that material to a skybox. So we can run through this really fast. I have the videos in here. So if I actually, for instance, open them in Explorer, maybe if I open. Open and Explorer. Here, open. I can actually see the dimensions. You see frame width, frame height. I have the dimensions. Now in my, I put this in material folders, I can create a texture. So you can just create texture, create a render texture, and then you put the dimensions in here. So I already have this built in. And then with that texture, you create a material. So you right click, create material, and in your material, you actually just drag that texture in. So you move the zoom window, but you can just drag the new texture that you made with the correct dimensions in there. And I'll answer the question soon. So once you do this, you go into Windows, Rendering, Lighting Settings, and in your skybox, you choose the new material that you just made. So this is an initial thing you need to do to play videos. Then you have a video player component, and you drop the clip that you want to play. We have all the video clips in here, so you drop the clip that you want to play, and you tell the video player how do you want to play it. There's different types of playing. You can play directly on the camera, but for what we're doing, we're basically, what's happening is we're playing on a sphere, right? A skybox is a make-believe sphere that's sort of an infinity, and that's how we're actually taking these videos and wrapping them around us, so they're either 360 or in virtual reality. So we choose the render texture option and drag the texture that we made. So this will allow you to play the video, right? Let's see what happens. What are we actually playing? Right, so we have a video here that plays. Okay, I'm gonna keep going with this because one really cool thing and a cool script that I built to help you both jumpstart and also create like a project that can be either in VR or desktop is called a mouse camera script. So what is happening here on the video? No, where did I put this? It's on the camera itself. So here we can also take a look. This is a good opportunity to take a look at what this camera space looks like. You have the center eye is where your camera actually is on. And you can see it is using a skybox, right? So that's why we needed to go and change the skybox to put the texture and the material that we wanted on the skybox, because that's what the camera is seeing. And here's my mouse camera script. So what this mouse camera script does is it basically asks, are you an XR device? Okay, if you're an XR device, turn off this script. We don't need this script because the VR, whatever VR you're wearing, will already automatically be connected to your head movements, and when you move your head, the video will move and you'll be able to look around it like it is a 360 video. But if you're on desktop, right, and you don't have currently a headset, you want to allow people that don't have a headset to still interact with what you're building and have an experience where they can move the camera around. So what this does is it just converts the mouse location into the camera transformation. So when you move the mouse, it's as if the head is moving. So the mouse controls the camera. So this was a hack. After I built this first for VR, and then I realized, oh, not a lot of people have VR. A lot more people do have gaming laptop computers. How can I easily convert this into something that's still interactive, but for just a computer? And I realized, oh, because all my interactions were gaze-based, meaning controlled by the head and where you look at, I could just replace the head with a mouse and still let this be interactive, a choose your own adventure, but just using the mouse. So we have this script on here, ready to go, and any video that you put in here, you can also just build for desktop and still have that interaction. Okay, let's take a pause for a second to answer a question. Did I experiment with multiplayer co-watch experiences? So no, I haven't. The only multiplayer thing I did was in normal VR. Technically, with normal VR, we could. So okay, so that's not true. I have done this, but not sex positive way, right? So what I did, for instance, was build a VR chat room that shows videos. And you could jump in there and see a video. We made a video of what VR does to your brain. So very similar to that, you could build this in normal VR where it would stream a video to multiplayers, and you'd be there in the same space. You might need to hack a little bit more into the normal SDK, but I'm pretty sure they do allow this. So that could definitely be very cool, because I do know my co-founder was actually telling me that, you know, things like big screen that you can sort of watch them together are also very not sex positive and will shut you down if they discover you're watching adult content together. It's absolutely ridiculous, but you know. So okay, let's go back to the script. So we learned how to move a camera, and Stefan, let me know if that sort of answers your question. If you have more questions. Video controller, right? So what I built in this experience, and let's actually play through this. You're gonna get a 30-second, right? So I can move around. Just want to show you the view that we were at. It was so pretty. We were in Oakland Hills, like in nature. I don't know if you're getting audio or not. I am, but I'm not sure how Zoom works. Probably not. I'm getting very loud audio. Yeah, you're not getting audio. But when you play this, if this works for you, you should be getting audio, hopefully. So, but I can, we're asking the audience, like we started with a consent question that was really important for us, to ask people, do you want to play with us? Tamal's being really funny and saying how she's likes to be watched and wants to be watched. And then we get a little horny meter, right? Oh, I see my script has actually met, which when I move my horny meter up, it switches me to the next video. And if I would have said no by moving my head down, we would have gone into a different video that tells people, oh, no worries, you can come back if you change your mind, and we start tickling each other. So you can play around with that to see how. That's basically how the whole experience works. And by the way, if anyone wants to, I'm going to be giving big discount codes if you want to actually download our full experience. And if anybody wants the whole code for the whole experience to build out, that I'm very happy to give out to help you jump your projects. But for now, I'll show you how we built this horny meter and how we're changing videos. So we basically have everything happening on this video controller script that I wrote. Now this video controller has a list of the clips. So this experience just has 3 clips. the first clip where we ask people, do you want to play? The second clip, saying yes. The third clip saying no, right? So it's called like branching narrative. Branching narratives can get really complicated. Has anybody watched Bandersnatch, by the way? Raise a hand. No, Bandersnatch. It's a Netflix thing. Yeah. That shows a computer game developer slowly going crazy because he's trying to build a branching narrative experience. And it does get, so it can get complicated. If you look back at this and there, you end in places that you're just like, wait, my narrative, where do you go from here? So this was a little bit of a Bandersnatch experience. We had at the beginning 3 totally different narratives. We cut it down to 2 because it was just too crazy. So we have these totally different narratives, so you can constantly get 2 different options and play between them, sometimes 3 options. And the way this is built, let's go into the video player. So this is how, when you build a script in Unity, anything you make public will then appear here, which lets you drag and drop elements. So if I made this public list, I can then just drag and drop things. Instead of starting to write through code, find this, find that, I can just make something public and then just drag it in there. This is both useful and also you need to be careful, because if you accidentally drag and drop the wrong thing, which I actually did. I mixed up clip 1 and clip 2, and I was like, what's going on? Why is it that when I say yes, I'm getting the clip that says no? Well, I drag and drop the wrong clip. That will do it. So you need to really maintain both namings, possibly writing the clip yes, clip no. Like, you need to think about your naming ways or how to keep this in order to make things work. Oh, another thing we also have in this script is a pause play button, which I'll probably let me see again. Wait, where is my dancing? Whoa, where is my pause play button? I'm not sure, but we can find it later if it's disappeared on me. So what happens here is we have a function that's called do at end of video, right? And this is this is called a callback function, because on start, remember start just happens once at the beginning. I'm saying add this callback. So I'm adding this callback, and what is this callback? So it does something at the end of the video player when it reaches the loop point. And what I've decided to do is just set active the controller. So the controller object, if we go to here, we will see it. There's a controller object. It's now not active. If I turn it active, wait, and zoom out, you will see a tiny rainbow dildo and the 2 buttons. Inside, you can actually see yes, no, tiny rainbow dildo, which we'll see how we scale soon. But this is the controller that gets set as active at the end of the video. Now I could do anything else, right? If you're creating a type of branching narrative that you want things to happen, what happens at the end of the video, you put it in here. You put your own menu, you decide to jump to the next video automatically, but this is the way to do things at the end of when one video plays. Now, this is how we play the clip. I created basically, there's an index of the names of the clip, and it's a function that gets called with the index number. So when users choose, and we can see this on the yes and no buttons. No, actually, this. They are on the scale head, right? So we can see the scale head is calling the video player, because that's basically how I decide when I give users the agency right now, you choose, and then they can move their head. And there's a bit of like trigonometry going on here. about what angle the head moves, and based on the angle, I'm scaling this dildo, and I'm asking on every frame, right? I'm asking if the dildo gets to a certain size and the video hasn't already played, then play this clip, and I send in which clip, right? Because we need to know which clip we're playing. And I'm writing a debug log so you can actually see. So if user says yes, meaning their head is big, their dildo is big, 20, not minus 20, sorry, 20, then that means they said yes, and you can play this clip. If their dildo is upside down and big, meaning they said no and look down, play clip number 2, which is the no clip. Now the way to connect scripts in Unity, the easiest way is, again, to sort of make it a public. So the first script that's called video controller is right here with all the functions that control the video, play, stop, loop, bringing up the controller. And then I actually drag that script into this script. So this script is on the dildo object itself because it's scaling the dildo object, the transform of it. And I just drag and drop the video script into it. And that's how they can actually talk to each other. And this is really, I think it's a quite strong suit of Unity. Don't know how Unreal does this. But you can build different types of components and string them together to create a full experience. And you can do this as fast as possible. What's nice about scripts, you can just copy paste them if you need them to be on a lot of different objects. Right, so this is basically how this works. We just have up, down, moving your head will control the narrative and let you change the different videos. Right, and toggle play, where did that button disappear to? I definitely had it in here. Right, not save before if not, we can create a toggle button play together. If it's not in our world. Here, it is in my world. Pause, where are you? Great, so I brought in buttons that say play pause. Oh, here it is, okay. So they might have disappeared to a strange place in space somehow. So if I want to move my buttons again, I just like put a location on them. And this is very hard when you're doing actually anything with space and like, where are things going to be placed? How are they going to look? You really need to just like test it a lot and see. A lot of the bugs I was dealing with was like, the menu system appears exactly where all the action is happening. No, menu system, move to somewhere else. Because every scene, right, we filmed with like different videos and from different angles. So where do I put the menu every time? That was a big challenge. It's a lot like spatial, again, this whole thing, we're really, what I enjoy about it is we're pushing technology. Like there's so little that has been done with spatial computing and interactions that you really get to sort of think these through and invent your own ideas. In our experience, what we ended up doing was letting people move the menu. So you could click, look to where you wanted the menu to be, let go, and the menu would be there, just in case, you know, because I often don't know how people are situating themselves. They might be sitting this way, standing. How do I actually let them adapt the world to their needs? So that's what I ended up doing. So let's see, this play pause button. So this is the first time we're seeing actual buttons. Buttons are Unity components. So unbutton, oh yeah, we lost, right? So buttons let you decide what happens on a click. So this button, and the way to do that is, once again, you can just drag the script that the button is on and choose which of the functions is going to happen. So we have a toggle play function. toggle is a very interesting concept, right? Because I didn't want to have like a play button and a pause button. You just want to be able to toggle between play and pause. So for that, you need to have a state that's keeping track of are you playing or not. Because this experience starts with automatically playing at the beginning, so we start, if it's true. If your experience doesn't, if your experience starts with a static image or something else and then just starts playing the video, once users start playing it, you start this as false. And basically, every time the function is called, you toggle between. The playing changes between true and false. I change the image, and I decide, right, if we are playing, I'm going to pause. If we're not playing, I'm going to play. And this is how we control the play pause of the video. So this is basically sort of the basics of what we used. I didn't put in, there's of course a lot more with like the teleportation and controlling different videos, but I was trying to keep enough time. I want us to have at least like 15 minutes of talking and asking you if you have any questions and things that you would like to use my expertise to ask anything, or if you want to review things. So that's the time we have now. I'm pretty much on time, so that's great. So how's this been? Anyone? I'm going to stop screen sharing so I can see people's faces and reactions. Did you feel this gave you, Nursa, I would love to receive feedback. Like, did you feel this gave you ideas of what you could be building and some specific tools to help jumpstart a specific project? And if people now have any ideas they would like to share about what they want to build. I like the idea, Stefan's idea about like some type of multiplayer co-watch experience. I'm wondering if it could be right, like if you could actually have multiplayer choosing together, like choose your own adventure together of what you're going to watch, to create, again, more of an agency type experience versus just like, oh, we're putting on a video that we're watching together. I think that would be something pretty fun for me, at least. Stefan, if you have more, you want to share a bit more about that?
I actually remember I watched Bandersnatch with my wife on the sofa, and we were essentially pondering which decision to take together. Yeah, I could imagine the same kind of experience remotely in VR.
Yeah, definitely. I think that could be really cool. It's a lot of work combining both networking and like a video experience, but I think it could be super fun to. I'm all into like, yeah, let's watch, you know, porn together as a bonding experience, or especially right in COVID, if you can't even be with the same person, then just it's watching things together. Watch parties have become a pretty big thing, at least in my group of friends, but watching them with making decisions together and having the ability to talk and co-create your experience, I think can be super powerful. So yeah, it's a great idea.
Yeah, it also gets exciting when people can experience different things but still have a shared experience on some sensory levels. So that kind of becomes interesting, how you can bend perception and what you actually experience while also sharing it at the same time.
Yeah, and I could just imagine, right, this is sort of a, if it was a VR experience, and you could even like walk around and see things, like each person could have their own sort of point of view, but you are experiencing the same experience, but a bit more like theater even, like you have different seats. If you're using more like 3D models and stuff, or 3D meshes.
And changing those perceptions in some unexpected times when you don't expect that, they're like boom.
Yeah, I'm waiting. I know there's I've been waiting for this to come out. There aren't a lot of us in the like sex positive developing worlds that are actually experimental. I don't know, maybe you know her. I forget her name, but she's based in France. She's a sex therapist, and they're creating some experience of like
Kathleen Smooth.
Yeah,
she was one of the speakers at our talks before the corona started. actually in DIY sex tech.
Yes, I'm waiting to she's creating something about like seeing what it's like from a perspective of a dildo, like that from the time you buy it to the time you play with it. I'm very curious. That's it's very, very creative. I'd love to try that when that comes out.
I have a question regarding so not the technical side of things, because like, we can do anything we want almost, but more related to the pushback you are getting from the different platforms. So the way I see it now is that there is no way you will be able to publish those experiences on Steam, on Oculus, or any of the public platforms. But it's interesting that you created a company and that you're trying to push for that. So what's your plan to bypass?
This is right. So this is I have like a VR company that's doing things that are easier to get funding for, and my main company is called Radix Motion, and we're just creating a 3D messenger, which is you can create any type of dance or movement and send it either from virtual reality or from your phone, with like different avatars that are actually interactive, and we give these like superpowers. You can blow kisses and your friends can catch your kisses in 3D space and run around, because yes, it is incredibly hard, A, to fundraise for sex positive things, B, to get distribution lines out there. So I'm trying, right? I'm trying to find people that are, I'm definitely, my lacking skills are like in marketing and getting out there and getting noticed beyond, I'm in this awesome little sex positive bubble in San Francisco in the Bay Area. So definitely like my friends and community will download this and give me feedback and support. But it's very difficult because even things like Patreon, I've cut down on sex positive experiences. So even if you want to get some type of funding through that, that's very hard. I've heard a lot of people are using something that's called OnlyFans. That's pretty new, that you might get a way to get, like monetize through like fans giving you type donations, and they are allowing sex positive things on there. There is, definitely, we're seeing, is there a place for new sex positive distributions? Yes, like I would love for there to be a Steam that is sex positive, where I could put my things out there. Like the hope or dream was that, I use the money that I'm getting from just building this website and having experiences that people can download to build more of a platform, because it is very hard. Like people are a little bit distrustful of downloading executables, right? That's an issue. So you'd want something that has a type of launcher like Steam. And then also if I want to update an experience, I want to add a new scene. Right now, there's no way people need to just download the whole thing again. Let's see, somebody's sending, is that like the animation stuff?
Yeah, it's mainly Japanese style.
Yeah, definitely,
it's very popular, but.
Yeah, so I was looking into some of them when I was looking for types of things. But some of them still don't allow, like Steam will allow this type of content. They just won't allow real women or real humans on it.
Did you think about creating like more than creating the content, creating a platform where people can upload, like users can upload their own generated content, but that would be a sexual content, not like in TikTok or Facebook or.
Yeah, definitely I thought about it. It is a lot beyond my personal technical skills, right? So I would need to have like a dev team, and that's where I would need to either get money from other things I'm creating or find collaborators. This is part of why, we're creating these things and trying to create collaborations, because we all know there is a lot of money in this. It's a little bit ridiculous that this hasn't happened yet. So there is a giant opportunity. B, the people that, for me at least, like one of my reasons to getting into this, the fact that we are a new technology can really affect how people consume these things. And creating consent-based content, authentic content, can just have a mess, like, you know, and first adopters coming in and looking for new content, finding this content that is actually really, I think at least, a lot healthier than a lot of things on porn. Of course, there are also amazing things happening in the porn world and just video porn. But I think that having you know, women creators, not just as performers, but are actually on the technical side, can have a giant influence in how these things are consumed and how relationships then go into the real world based on you know, teenagers watching porn. I would really love, actually, teenagers to watch the porn me and my partners make, because I think it would just give them healthy habits about consent and negotiation of kink and respect and things like that. So yeah, definitely. I know a few people that have tried. Like, I know there's like, and I think also that's part of the Raspberry Dream Labs, if you want to share, right? Like, I think that's what they're gonna be trying to create. The other way to go about it might be actually through like web VR. Like, you know, stores, they're terrible, but maybe we can create web VR experiences that don't have that bottleneck of distribution, that you just go basically to a website. Web VR experiences are a bit harder to monetize, I think. You'd need to have some type of subscription or login system around it that allows you to monetize it. Because it's, and hide the content. Like, again, I'm not a security expert, but basically what I know about web VR is it's all on the page. So people can just, if they get access to the page, could just like download everything and copy it to another website, which is part of what we see in the porn world, or that, right? Like people just downloading the videos and just putting them in other places. So some content distribution system is probably needed if you're trying to monetize this. And yeah, and part of it is like trying to talk to other people in the industry and see what they're doing and if we can collaborate. Yeah, so this is the draw the line at real people, and a lot of it is where, you know, there's also this the political side of things, right? There's all these real, like, we needed to put, I have on the adder, like, for federal reasons, you need to put in a real address that federal agents can come knock on my door and ask to see the contracts of anybody that's participating in this, that were over 21. That's part of like the American porn industry legalization stuff. So that's also, yeah.
The pushback you got from Steam, was it because it was using real people or because it was photorealistic?
Because it was video content, basically, because we were combining video content with gaming and stuff. So part of the thing we were thinking of is maybe, and I did that sort of with SideQuest, is put a censored version. That's just the first few minutes before things get actual sexual, and from that lead people into our own platform as a type of distribution mechanism.
Does Unity lend itself? Yeah. Does Unity lend itself well to migrating to like web platforms, or is it totally different development stack?
Unity, you can convert a lot of it into web too. There's different. The problem with web is, like, again, with these giant video files, is going to be, I guess, like you're going to need to stream them possibly, and that will be slow. Maybe I haven't done too much on like the web side. But yeah, this is very interesting. I see James is commenting that there are photoreal avatars, and this is true. They're like, the level of animation has gotten to be like crazy, you know, like realistic. So it's a little bit strange that they put the line at an actual person. But a lot of it is because of these, I think, like federal rules that anytime it's a real person, you need to have the contract that this person is an adult. So there's, which could be done. Like the validation I needed to get into Steam for just regular stuff, the amount of bureaucracy I needed to send them, you know, it could be very easily done. Just send us the contracts of the models with their IDs to make sure this is like safe material, because it is important, you know, not to have like minors and things on your platform. But yeah, so I don't know if it's just like a bureaucratic hurdle, or just, it feels like it's more of a like closed-minded thing, that they don't really want to deal with this after trying. And I was communicating with them. I was like sending them like, seriously, and I had a list of actually games that are very rapey. Like, this is on your platform, you're okay with this, you're okay with this, but not okay with this thing we created. So that didn't help. And we did like a press release, we made some noise about this in like the VR world, but that didn't help.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think we're almost out of, well, yeah, it's already 7:30 in UK. So if you guys have more questions or would like to carry on these conversations, please do join our Discord. So we recently opened it up to public. Before, we've been using that space just a place for internal communication. But now it's open, so I just posted a link. And Sarah is there as well, so if there is anything you would like to talk to her specifically, you can find her there. Right. And of course, follow her on social media. Also, yeah. We would all really appreciate if you can, guys, fill up this feedback form. This feedback form. Sorry?
Yeah, keep going.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you can fill it in, that would be super great for us and for Sarah to know how we can make better workshops for you in the future, and just to get your overall opinions about today. The form is completely anonymous, so we're not gonna know who you are, so please be very honest. It's gonna be highly appreciated. And as you may already know, that these workshops, they occur on bi-weekly basis, and the one that is going to happen after this is going to take place on 18th of August, and we're going to look into pervertibles and how we can make them from household objects. So I posted the link in chat where you can find more information and book your tickets, which are also donation based, so you can pay what you can afford. And we also do have our events in the Altspace VR that are free to attend. They're called Uncensored Chats. So these are essentially also bi-weekly meetups where we talk about all sorts sex, and every month we have a new theme, and the theme of August is polyamory. So we're going to have 2 events this month. One is happening next Wednesday and the one Wednesday after. And if you are into VR and into these events, please do share them with the rest of the world, because we recently got censored by Altspace as well for having these discussions in the public format, because they apparently attract also underage children. And this is such a bummer, because actually we don't really have any underage at the space. We have really intense moderation system. But yeah, the platform, has already been mentioned today, they're not sex positive and not sex friendly. So yeah, we're still working with them, trying to find the middle ground, how we can still kind of like make it fit into what they are offering, because they do have LGBT meetups, which kind of stand on the same line, where meetups about polyamory and about like other types of relationships are being discussed. So there are ways, and we just need to find them. But for today, our events got set in private, meaning that people are not able to find them on a platform. So yeah, please spread the word.
I'll share it.
And also we do have our mini conference coming up very soon in the end of August. So on the 20th of August, again, this event is happening in Allspace VR, and we've built our virtual world, Raspberry Dreamland, where we have multiple islands, and we're hosting this one in a theater world. Where we have also exhibition corner with like super cool erotic sculptures. And this event is going to talk about sex education, and we have a really cool lineup of amazing speakers. So we have clitoral researcher, we have a comedian, we have a 3D artist, and a porn performer, all talking about sex education and how it should be remade and recreated in a new era of digital revolutions. And also we were talking about how can we make sexual education more available and more approachable for underage children, because they as well as adults need to have good sexual education to be able to live healthy and good lives. And the other part, which is also the fun one, so we are, I don't know if you guys know, but I mentioned that in newsletter. So if you are on the newsletter, you already know. But we started working on taking our uncensored nights, our sex tech positive parties into the virtual reality. And we are collecting user responses on what they would like to see there to make this experience the best for you, because it's all for you guys. So we need to know what you want to see there. So please fill in this form. The survey ends on 8th of August, so there is still 4 days to fill it in. And if you are happy to share with us more of your thoughts on the subject, please schedule the interview with our UX researcher. That will give us a lot of insights into how we can make experience better and to suit your needs. And the part that also relates to this is that we are looking for a focus group to be able to test these experiences while we're developing. And we are looking for male, female, and non-binary individuals. So far, we have a lot of male volunteers, but we do need more female volunteers. So ladies, if you are here, please sign up, be our testers, and fill in the survey. We need to have more female voices. So don't be shy, it's all anonymous. I mean, if you're gonna go for testing, we will know who you are, but it's not gonna go any further than those who are involved in the project. And yeah, so as I said, we are open our Burning Man. Oh, sorry, we opened our Discord. But what I wanted to say is that we are going to build up Raspberry Dream Labs camp in a virtual Burning Man. So we only found out about it yesterday. So there is not much information to share just yet because we are working on our lineup. But if you are on Discord, then you will be able to hear as soon as we're ready all the information. And if you do want to collaborate and show some of your work in our Burning Man camp, just drop us an email and tell us what you want to show. It can be performance, it can be music, it can be installation. So whatever you would like to contribute towards the celebration of sexuality at this amazing festival, let us know. And yeah, that's it from me.
Maybe one last thing. I just posted the link to my website, and I created a 30% discount for anything that's on there for you guys. If you want to actually try the full experiences, and again, like if you want the full code base for anything that's on there, let me know. Super happy to open source.
Yeah, and I will include the discount code in the follow-up email after this. So if you didn't catch it, don't worry. And also the presentation that Sarah was showing today.
Yeah, I'll share
the link with you. All that information. All right. Thank you so much. And before we all go, those who don't mind turning on the camera, I just want to make a small screenshot so we can put it on social media to say thank you for attending.
Ooh, that's a big ask. Also okay to stay private.
All right. Okay. Well, those who have on, smile. Yay. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much. Have a great day and a great evening, depending where you are in the world. And we see you soon.